Welcome back from the break. This is Man Talk here on KTN Home, and today we are discussing polyandry, when a woman can marry more than one husband, and polygamy and how the two work and how men view these things. Now, I actually had this conversation on my show, Vibes Radio, which I do with ZJ Heno as part of Standard Group. Shout out. And when we were discussing it, something that really came up a lot from our listeners that are men is, Sezi introduce you as my second husband, Mimi.
Me too.
That is like the number one thing. And what I was wondering is, what is so big and important about this introduction thing? Because I think I never realized how big of a deal it is.
It's not about the deal.
Okay.
It's about, okay, I'm sorry about this, but for me to be in love with you, I invest my emotions in you.
Right.
Now, you want me to expect you to invest your emotions in another man.
Yeah, a bit here, half. A bit here, a bit...
that cannot work for me. Yeah? You either mine or...
That's it.
Just go, right? Because, can you take orders from me?
In your own house, Kwanzaa.
That's even not a question to discuss.
You see? So there's no way you stand in between us and want me to take orders from him. That, you know, he said I have to be in his house the next weekend.
Yes.
Yeah? Look at Kenyan men. I'm sorry, I'm a Kenyan man too.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have one woman, but they keep...
Sometimes.
They keep sometimes. Yeah, they keep calling. You ain't doing nothing bad, but somebody calls you. Where are you? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Who are you with? You're like, damn, I'm having coffee with the girlfriend. Like, are you sure? Send me pictures. You're like, what? Hell no.
You guys have become really smart today, though. You're always just like, oh, I didn't see your makeup.
Yeah.
So take a picture so I can see how you do.
I didn't see your dress in the morning.
I didn't see your dress. Yeah.
It's not about the dress. This person is trying to find out where are you.
You're actually where you say you are.
Now you want to tell me that there is another man who is coming in as a husband. Hell no.
I can't work.
Even me, I take the same perspective.
Yeah.
You're only just trying to think about it. It doesn't even, there's no connection in my mind.
Where it makes
like
sense.
a man sharing a woman with another guy.
Yeah.
Because just from the start, for me, I tend to think my woman or a woman that a guy has is mine. I'm not sharing. There's some things as a guy, you just don't share, you know? Yeah. Or a woman falls into that category.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, there's no way it can
now,
happen.
I want to throw a spanner in the works. I want to take us to, I like what you guys are asking. In what situation, you know, would this be plausible for a man to agree that he can take orders or live with another man peacefully, know that there's another husband elsewhere? A lot of the angle for polygamy is because the man could provide. So you know, as a woman, you and your children will be secure. Whether there's a second wife somewhere, hauna qualms, because you know my home is okay.
Yeah.
Now, there is a lot happening in the African society right now with drugs, with alcohol, with gambling. There are addictions that are really, really destroying a lot of Africans' men's lives. Like, especially when you look at something like gambling, it's not a lot of women that are suffering. It's not, you know, it's not the university girls that are eating their whole fees with gambling. It's the men, unfortunately, who are falling privy to it because it's things that men like. So it will be sports, you know, is the target. And so a man, obviously, betting on sports is way more likely than a babe. Same with addictions. Access to alcohol, access to drugs is a lot easier for men. So we have this men in society, not, for lack of better words, let me say the waste men. And they are very happy to have a woman provide for them. If it means I marry this woman, she's the go-getter, she's the one who makes a lot of money, I have no issue making sure the house is okay, I want to chill and sit back and be taken care of. Yeah. So that man, who might not be any of you three, right? Would you not advise that man to be a happy second husband, to be provided for, to be okay? Would you not advise him, by the way, fanya hivi, because hataki he's not eager or driven enough to want to provide for himself or even for a family that now he's the leader. He wants to be provided for.
May feel he needs Viboko.
I was about to say that. Because honestly, number one, why would you even be in this country if you don't want to provide?
Right.
Okay, look at this. You are our woman. Let's call you our woman. Okay. Right? And then you get pregnant. Whose child is it?
That's another question that came up on Vibes Radio a lot.
Yeah? So, she's ours, right?
In polygamy, it's very clear, because in polygamy, it's a woman that will physically be pregnant. So you know, right? It's the first wife or it's the second wife.
Yeah. But now this is a woman, 10 husbands. whose kid is this? Now, who is going to be called daddy and who is just a passerby?
Yeah. But if you guys are in a successful polyandry relationship, what's the big deal with the kids? See, the children are everybody's children.
Susie, define successful polyandry.
If all partners are aware, happy, safe, and secure.
Trust me. Okay, I don't know.
Like,
but
no.
for me, there will never be a successful polyandry.
Yeah.
Because my simple question is this. What about if you fall into the hands of all the 10 men, they are rough in the bedroom?
Oh, no.
What happens?
Oh, no.
You have to deal with this human for the whole week.
But okay, I assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, if a woman wants to do polyandry, I would advise her to do it like men. So I would advise her to have them in different homes. And obviously, a woman who's doing polyandry should be able to afford, just like the way a man who's doing polygamy should be able to afford. So if you're a woman who wants more than one husband, they shouldn't be in the same location or in the same house. This one should have their house with their children, and this one in their house with their children.
But at the end of the day, this woman will have to service
all of the men.
All of them, right?
But even the man in polygamy relationship services all the women.
You see, now that's the problem, because
it's true.
You show me a situation whereby a woman is comfortable playing the provision role and he respects that guy. Very hard to find a situation like that, yeah?
Right.
Unless you're doing something serious in the bedroom, maybe I said some rough things in the I don't
Right.
know what that's entails.
So for a woman, it's very hard for us to respect if this
I mean,
person is not the leader and the provider
if
in
you
our
have a guy
lives.
and he's chilling there, the way you said, like, you know, you'd advise the guy to be a second husband.
Yeah.
Well, you're coming home and the guy is chilling there on Netflix.
But as a woman, maybe if I'm a polyandrous woman and I want more than one husband, I have no issue with that. I'll come to your house when I know
Susan,
this is the attention I want.
Now you're lying there, because you see, the thing is that you might say that, but your very nature will resent that type of nonsense. Eventually it will. Because you're looking for, I mean, when you look at a guy is supposed to be a certain way. You know, supposed to be either an alpha, lead or do something. That's why you find, because I've seen a lot of women who play that provision role and they end up being very frustrated and stressed, because not that women cannot provide, and that's how it is, yeah? Not that they can provide, they have the capability to go out and also fend for themselves, yeah? Especially in today's world.
Yeah.
But it's
sometimes
a situation
you
where
just,
they're
let me
more
help you,
comfortable.
you feel like you'd even rather be alone.
When you're a woman
as
and
a
you
woman,
have a guy.
if I'm providing everything, so I'm responsible for myself and I'm responsible for you. Maybe I even feel like you're wasting. I feel like you're in the house, you're not doing it, you're not trying, you don't even want to help to contribute.
Exactly.
After a while, I'll be like, afadhali I'm by myself, because it's only me I need to worry about.
And that's what contributes now. Women become moody and all, the moods come in.
Right,
It's because the guy is not playing a certain role that he's supposed to play.
Kodira, do you see polyandry working at, like, in any situation? Do you think a woman can successfully marry two husbands and they live in peace?
In the modern world, I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's possible. Because I feel like in the modern world, people, females are so jealous and males are so jealous.
Yes.
So like, it's hard. It's hard for that to work out.
Do you think that people who try and do it, so like now, let me say I'm the man who is trying to be polygamous, or I'm the woman who's trying to do polyandry. Would you say that it's people who are a little greedy, they're trying to have their cake and eat it too? Because even for the men, like you said, in today's world, it's very hard to find a woman who will agree initially. Yeah, 0%. Like I'm coming in knowing. So do you think that there's a little greediness, a bit of let me have my cake and eat it too, Fadira?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you think they just genuinely want to love and provide for two men or for two women?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think? Do you think it's usually a little bit of a selfish undertaking?
From the side of a woman, I would not understand that decision. But from the side of a guy, I understand it, because we are wired to have, we want to have in plenty, and we are wired to also procreate. And, you know, we spread your seed as far and as wide as possible. Yeah?
Right.
It's not the most sensible decision, because as a guy also, one of the challenges we have is managing our resources. That's why if you have a woman who can manage your resources and finances and uses those things wisely and smartly, that's a fantastic woman to have. So I'd say it's just our nature, but also it's not always the most sensible nature to have.
Right. So we can go. You can go against this nature. The way you're saying you're wired,
and
it doesn't have to be.
Because now we deal with money in terms of the exchange, physical money, as opposed to like having cattle or stuff, stationary things, whereby in the olden days, those things would contribute to polygamy being more successful.
That's true. Yeah, because it was how many cattle you have, if you have a big piece of land.
How large you
now
your
it's
land.
very different.
Now it's money and stuff. So If you have 2 wives and you're cashing out or 3 wives, unless we can afford it, well and good.
Yeah.
Yeah, those who can afford it feel good having those 3 wives.
Yeah. You've
May I?
made it clear you think it's a selfish endeavor, but tell us.
Yeah, okay. I would still say this.
Yeah.
It depends on why you want to do this.
Uh-huh,
Right?
yes.
You know, reasons behind everything that you're doing gets to be very important. Because look at this. Today, we have people who are surviving in marriages that clearly ain't working out.
Yeah.
But because they want to have faith in this person, they still hang in there.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But then they get to a position where this person says, enough is enough. I can't deal with this anymore. So some men still find that this woman is important to me in a certain way. So instead of disposing her,
Yeah.
I would rather have another one as a co. You understand? So
one
they want to-
marriage is just clearly not working at all, but you
Yeah.
still want the companionship, you
Yeah.
still want the love,
Yeah,
so
there-
then you look for the co-eds.
Yeah, there are some things that this woman does right, right? So this guy's like, I should not dispose her. Let me keep her, but have another person beside her.
Okay.
The number 2 comes in, again, she has her defects. Number 3 comes in. Same can apply to women. Do you know women are so good? For me, they are good. Why? Because sometimes they handle so much nonsense from the so-called husbands.
Right.
And they take in so much crap.
Yeah.
So it gets to a position where this guy, he's got his good qualities. But you'll see that most women would see a man who has 80% goodness and 20%.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you'd rather don't dispose this person, but keep them, then bring in another person. Now the question is, the guy that is being brought in, are you very sure that they would fit the description you want?
Right.
Yeah? Because if this person did not work, then what is the percentage that the other person will work out? Yeah? So it depends on the reason. Sometimes you get people breaking up relationships just because of emotions.
In
Yeah.
the heat of the moment. Actually, I read a very interesting fact. They added something in China, specifically in Beijing. It's called like a cool-off period. So if you want to get a divorce or you want to get separated, when you actually file for it, there's a government, whatever, cool-off period where you can't separate or you divorce. The government is aware you're filed, but it's a mandatory cooling-off period. And they've actually reduced their divorces. Because like you're saying, some people find out they were in the heat of something. It was just
Yeah.
such a really deep
Just
argument.
emotional.
Once they took some time, they actually realized, oh, I'm not that mad at you anymore that I want to leave you. I just want to resolve this problem in particular.
Self-therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the angle that you've brought in because it's not something that I had considered, which is maybe a situation that maybe polyandry can be seen as an option, where maybe it's difficult to get children. So physically, biologically, it's hard for me as a woman, and maybe we've already gotten married, so we're discovering later. So like, let's say me and Michael get married, we discover much later on, it's very hard for me physically to have children, and it's just the case. It's just as God wanted it to be. So in that situation, me and Michael can decide we want to add another woman to this equation, but for biological purposes, in the sense that we want children from this family and we don't have. Now for polyandry, for a woman, that would probably be the only situation that would be easy or simple enough to walk through the process of having a second husband, because it can be the same for the man. If you get married and you find out, he's barren, he can't have children, you guys do want children, then maybe you can think of adding that second perspective. Would you guys agree to such a setup?
A setup of where, for example, we are married, yeah?
Yes.
And then now we bring in another woman.
Yes.
Why make a decision that has long-term effects based off of a short-term problem?
Right.
Because there's that option where you can get someone. I think you can, the seed or something can be.
You can
put
do a
in-
surrogate.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
adopt.
exactly.
Also, if you don't,
Yeah.
you don't have to have your own biological
Because
children. There's a lot of
there's
children
this
looking for
celeb,
homes.
Gabriel Union.
Yes.
They did that procedure.
Yes.
And it was their baby, but they fertilized it inside of another woman. So I think there are other options to take. Don't make a decision that has long-term effects for a short-term problem.
That's
just
true.
what I think.
I think it's about the options that you have.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, like you said, you need money to do options. So to have a second wife or to get a surrogate or to adopt a child, all of these are lengthy, complicated, and financial consequences. They'll all cost money. Like,
And
there's no...
Just to add something on it, girls nowadays are so aware of themselves. It's not like back in the day, huh? So a girl knows, or she's aware of her worth more
Yeah.
than before.
Yeah.
So she also, in a way, she's not content to just sit back and chill, you know. And
Yes.
there's so many movements and so they're aware of what they are worth and they're aware of what they want. So it's very difficult nowadays to convince a lady, let's do this, let's have another woman inside, because she wants attention to herself. And I mean, in her own way, she's justified to want that.
Yeah, very true. Now, outside of polygamy and polyandry, and we had touched on this a little bit, you and I, when we were talking, is open relationships. What do you guys think about open relationships? Because we all know Bensoul's song, Nairobi, how it is.
Kulia kwa sahani.
Crazy
Sinia.
city of ours. And so do you guys think that young people should look at open relationships as an option to try and mitigate the cheating, the backstabbing, all the complications we have within relationships in the 254?
That's an interesting
Kobe,
question.
what do you think?
Uh,
Open
okay.
relationship, is it something you would consider for yourself?
In my social setup, I wouldn't consider that.
Yeah.
Because when you have a girlfriend, you have a lot of friends that are looking at your relationship, and when they're looking at that, they're like cameras. They look at it, and when you cheat or do anything, they talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's always not a good picture to your girlfriend or something. So I wouldn't consider that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, interesting, because you mentioning friends, they're also in the market as well. So if they see your girlfriend is being treated badly and they think they can treat her better, or they also think she's beautiful, then they can also hop on the bandwagon. What do you think about open relationships?
He's a lion. He wants to open.
I hope this is not a trap.
No, it's not a trap. No.
Okay, for me, I would really support open relationship in this modern world.
Yeah.
Because we are living in a season where most things don't just work out.
Right.
You look at a woman, you look at a man, and you feel like this is my Mr. Right. 6 months down the line, you're like, oh my God,
I'm saying a very
can
different
I
story.
always be this wrong?
Right.
Yes. So in an open setup, it gives you the anyway. Who doesn't do open relationship? I'm sorry, I don't. But who doesn't?
That's what the song is about. It's essentially
Yeah.
telling you that everyone in Nairobi is
You
kind
know?
of living in
Yeah.
an open
Nairobi
relationship
is
lifestyle.
dangerous.
Today it's open, but in a pseudo. Yeah, it's a masquerade. That's why I'm sorry to say this. You're walking with your chick,
Yeah.
and then you spot some other chick, and then you're like,
It's what is it called?
and
Breaking
then
the neck.
yeah, you know,
Punja
and then-
shingo.
yeah, and then your girl is like,
What's
wrong with
Yeah,
you?
what are you looking at?
yeah, trust me. You realize that
Relationships,
most
yeah.
of this, whatever,
Yeah.
they have a side, somebody beside it. It is not open yet to the world, but there is somebody.
Yes.
Is that not being in an open relationship?
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
actually.
that's actually a form of open.
So
Yeah.
what else
Yeah.
do you want if that is not it?
No, it's tricky.
Yeah.
So people
For
should
me-
just tell each other the truth.
For me, come on, boys. If you want to do an open thing, just sit your girl down, tell them, you know what, there's somebody else, but it's not serious, so we can handle this together.
Yeah.
Right?
But be ready for her to also say, oh, funny you should say that. There's somebody else on my side as well. Be
Oh,
be
no.
ready. Because you know that's usually what you have to be ready to open up for. If you want to
would
have
be-
somebody on the side and not be bothered about
The
it,
bombshell.
then they will also say,
I
by
would
the
be
way.
so ready for that.
Exactly.
I would be so ready for that because, again, I know she will have emotional stability, which is very important to me.
And she's
Because-
also telling you the truth.
Yeah. Don't just come and tell me that, yesterday night I was... No. Don't tell me that.
Yeah.
As long as I know we are more than 6, that's okay.
Yeah. I love it.
Trust me, it's very peaceful. Anyway, they will still do it
Yeah.
behind your
That's
back.
the problem.
So you'd rather do it openly than hide.
Do you guys think there's space for open relationships maybe with age? So they always say, young men, young women, when you're that university age, when you're in your 20s, you're still figuring things out. After 25, you have more assurity or you're more certain of who you are as a person, your own self-identity. Whether you're a man or you're a woman, as you get closer to 30 and as you go over 30, you're more sure of yourself. So would you guys say open relationships can work? That time when you're a lot younger, maybe between the age of 20 and 25, you haven't figured things out, you're likely to not want to be in a monogamous relationship, or you don't think it's age-oriented at all.
I think you've put it perfectly because I was going to go with that one, with that angle
Yeah.
of open relationships and commitment. Because also there's something beautifully attractive about commitment, and we all seek commitment. We are human beings. We are social creatures.
We love the idea of somebody signed a paper to be with just me forever, their whole
no one
life.
wants to sleep in this Nairobi, which is so cold, by yourself.
By yourself?
You know, so we like that aspect of being with someone.
Right.
And we like and love commitment.
Yeah.
But if you're not yet sure, if you feel you're not at the stage where you're ready in your mind and in your heart, I think maybe just do the open thing.
Yeah.
And be open about it and be comfortable with it. Then when you're ready to now take a person or whatever it is and be committed to someone, because commitment also has its work, it has its effort. You know, there's a lot of work that goes into it. Then you can settle then. So it's a matter of just perspective. And it's not really, I wouldn't say age, I would say it's just you as a person. Because there's someone who's 19 and 20, but their mentality is so up there.
Right,
and they're so sure of themselves. And there's someone who's 35, but man,
And he still-
he still wants to
I keep
play
saying
around,
that.
yo-yo,
Yeah.
you know?
Because me, I know myself. I'm not against open relationships. If a friend of mine tells me, but I know myself as Susan, me, I cannot agree.
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
You can agree to share a guy.
I don't think so, no.
But can you have multiple guys yourself?
No, I also expect myself to be monogamous. I'm a one guy babe. It's too much work. I'm texting this one, WhatsApping this one, then this one now. Then we're playing the game of the replies.
Yeah, you know, you're fighting this one, the other
Yeah,
one.
and then you know you'll even forget, as a lady, first of all, you'll forget who you're even angry with. So if you're fighting with this one, but you're okay with this one, unaenda sasa unaanza kubang milango kwa nyumba, and you're not realizing this is not the one I've done.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So I know for me personally, it might not work, at least for the kind of person that I am. But I know there's some people who do open relationships and it really works for them. Would you be open to it yourself personally?
Open relationships? No, I wouldn't be.
Yeah, it wouldn't
I
work
share.
for you.
I share the idea, the same idea as you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be into that.
For you, Michael, would you be down yourself personally?
There was a moment probably it was the best or preferable idea.
Yeah.
But right now, I'd prefer one because the drama involved, the time involved.
It's
I
a
want
lot.
to use that time to chase more important things
Exactly.
rather than spend the time, hey, Nanish, watch and pige shiro, this time Janet. Yeah, no, it's too much.
That's good. You know yourself. So you're like, there's a time it would have been plausible, but right now, no.
Yeah, no.
And for you, obviously.
No, for me, open relationship is cool. As long as it brings peace, I
Yeah.
have no problem.
Yeah.
This guy didn't sing for no reason. Nairobi.
Yes. Yeah.
You know? That was
Just ensure your
experience.
plate is not a senior.
It had a lot of purpose in
Yeah.
it. Well, thank you so much, guys. I don't think we've expounded the topic even to its ends and to its reaches, but I really appreciate you guys being open. You know, a lot of people, you ask them to come and discuss polyandry on camera, and they're like, hapana, siwezi onekana hapo nikisema hizo vitu, you know? So I really, yes. So I really, really appreciate it. I'd like you guys to share your social media handles, websites for your businesses so people can know where they can find you. If they have any more questions on this topic, they'd like to reach out to you, how can they do it? We can start off with you.
So Kodira Jack, I'm the chief designer at 7 Prints. You can find us on Instagram at 7prints_. And WhatsApp numbers?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, 0704 40 50 41. You can also find me on that number.
Nice.
Thank you.
Michael?
Yeah, Michael, I do open relationships, so you're welcome to an open. No, I'm just playing. My Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook all under the name Michael Indeku, INDEKU, and we'll be happy to banter there.
Yeah. We should do gigs together now that the world is open again. I MC as well. We're both in radio and TV.
Yeah.
Call me and Michael up. We'll hook you up.
Come on, man.
And Reinhard, talk to them about Lightnet.
Oh, yeah. As I said when we started, I didn't want to disclose this. We are doing something big, and once it's out
Yes.
and we begin rolling,
Yes.
we'd fix you guys in.
Oh, amazing.
But I got to tell our women and men this. For those who want to do polygamy or polyandry, just make sure that you're very safe. Yeah, the world today outside there is full of pseudos and masquerades. You might think you're in love with an angel, only to realize you're just in the most demonic thing ever in the world.
Right.
Make sure you're safe. Be safe out there. Don't just zoom into anything. Scrutinize before you can do anything.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm Reinhard Bonkin. It was a pleasure being here.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you too.
That message is actually quite key and quite important. We were discussing polygamy and polyandry here today. I don't expect any of the viewers to go after any of my guests. This is a discussion. We weren't expressing anything where we're giving any commandments to anybody, and it doesn't reflect on the views of the Standard Group or the KTN Home family. That said, do have this discussion amongst your friends, within your communities, in your families, in your homes. Let's have a think about what everybody sees about it. South Africa did pass the law for polyandry, for women to be able to marry more than one husband, and it would be interesting to have more of that discussion here in the 254. This has been Man Talk. I am your host, Susan Jeroge. You can find me on social media. My handle is @SoraCommon, @Sora_common, everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's been incredible here with you on KTN Home. You can still use our text line 22151 if you want to be a guest on the show, or you have any opinions on what you watched. Do send one there and use the hashtag ManTalk and the hashtag KTN Life and Style to share with us online. Otherwise, we'll see you here next week, same place, same time. Bye.